pleasure to welcome amidst us today Sapna Khandelwal as a guest speaker for the day. I'm very grateful to her for taking time out from her busy schedule and life and spending some time with us and letting us know all about what she has learned during her life. Now, Sapna has many facets to her personality. Having got married early, she didn't complete her college education, but undeterred, she taught herself from books and life. Held at gunpoint in 1994, which I didn't know, she saved 15 family members, including a young son and herself. After that, she took to systematic and intensive studies of the Vedas, the Upanishads, and Bhagavad Gita, with the result that she is now a thought leader of our ancient heritage and culture and a powerful speaker. As such, suitably, the subject for today's discussion is 16 sanskars as revealed in Sanatana Dharma. Besides that, she specializes in restoration of old precious jewelry, has written a self-help book titled Unleash the Shakti Within, has tried to revive the sari culture, and has also co-founded a well-known socio-cultural organization to empower women. So, as I said earlier, she's truly a multifaceted personality who has achieved so much in her life, of course, all on her own, and of course, with the support of her family. Now, I'll hand over to Rita Kapoor, our program coordinator, to tell us a little more about the topic of discussion today and about Sapna. Rita?
Yeah. Sapna, can you hear me?
Absolutely. Yes, I can.
Okay. Sapna, we are honored to have you as our speaker. And on behalf of Disha, a very warm welcome. As you notice, I share your love of saris and jewelry. In your honor, I have worn one for a Zoom meet for the first time, and it feels great. Moving on with you today, we are going to go through a very logical, scientific journey of the 16 sanskars as explained in Sanatana Dharma, unfortunately lost to us today. As you narrate, we may remember some of them. It might ring a bell, but to most of us, the reasoning behind it needs to be re-explained. You mentioned that we are sitting on top of a chest, a treasure trove, which we only have to open and explore to understand the purpose of our existence and to enrich it. Over to you, Sapna. And please, we are all very comfortable with Hindi. If it helps you to explain the sanskars better, please go ahead. Over to you, Sapna.
Thank you. Thank you for the extremely warm welcome. And I take great pride and pleasure in being with you. I'm going to switch on my microphone. So in case if you guys have to say something, I will not be able to hear. या तो आप इशारे से बोल दीजिएगा या chat पे डाल दीजिएगा. Because
Sapna, we'll take any questions and answers after your talk.
Perfect, perfect. So I'm going to just switch my microphone on. Yeah. And very rightly pointed out that many of these statements and facts are better explained in Hindi because English is a very insufficient language. बहुत कुछ ऐसा है English में जो हम explain ही नहीं कर पाते, the values, the thought systems which have been there in our ancient culture and ancient religion. Anyway, I start my talk now and by thanking you and thanking you Rita ji especially for connecting with me. तो हम बात कर रहे हैं 16 संस्कारों की. Now I want you to go back to those days when you took a sheet of paper and you put a carbon sheet in between and you had another paper below it. So when you wrote something on that, तो ink के माध्यम से, carbon के माध्यम से the words would be translated on the sheet below it. And in case you didn't have a carbon paper, you would just take 2 sheets of paper and make sure that you write extremely deeply and darkly so that the impressions would be formed on the sheet below. ऐसा ही कुछ होता है हमारी lives में. Because when we find ourselves in a human body, or when a mother is pregnant and she finds a womb in her body, little realizing that that womb is carrying so many past impressions. And ये हमें कैसे पता लगता है? By the very fact that if a mother, we are all mothers here, and none of our 2 children or 3 children are same. कोई भी 2 बच्चे हमारे बिल्कुल सेम नहीं होते. क्यों नहीं होते? जबकि घर एक है, माँ बाप एक है, परवरिश एक है, स्कूलिंग हम एक सी देते हैं, एजुकेशन एक है, still our children are not uniformly similar because they are carrying those past impressions. हमारी संस्कृति में, सनातन धर्म में, we are taught that we are a cycle of yugas. बहुत सारे युगों का काल चक्र के बाद हम जब एक ह्यूमन लाइफ फॉर्म में आते हैं, we carry so much more that has been happening. So 2 people in the same mother's womb are coming from different places with different life experiences, and that's why the whole situation of them being different. तो ये हैं कुछ जो संस्कार हम अपने past lives में से लेके आते हैं. So संस्कार basically mean impressions. But the beauty is that science has proved, genetic research has proved that 70 to 80% of what a human being is genetic, is hereditary, or has been carried from the past. But 20 to 30% remaining is in our hands. That purusharth, that free will, that will to change it according to what we want is in our hands. So that is the 20 to 30% that a human being has been given an area to play with. Now, when our scientists of yore, the rishis and the mahatmas, they sat in deep meditation, certain things were revealed to them. They did not write those verses, but those verses were revealed to them, and that knowledge was passed to the next generation by way of an oral lineage. जब ये oral lineage के through pass होती थी, तो इसको protect कर पाते थे, and they have been transmitted for centuries without any basic thought being changed, word to word, because we've had that lineage, how to recite, how to memorize, and how to pass it to the next generation. तो जब हमारे ऋषि मुनि बैठते थे, so they were the drashta, they were the witness of those verses, and they have put those verses down. संस्कारों की कहानी में सबसे ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है, what we were explaining till now, 70 to 80% is genetic or hereditary. The 20 to 30% that is in our hands, वो हम कैसे change कर सकते हैं? तो संस्कार जो past से आते हैं, वो तो हैं ही, परंतु जो हम अब करते हैं, जैसा हम अब सोचते हैं, जैसा हम जीवन जीते हैं, वो सब संस्कार बनते चले जाते हैं. So the thing is, every situation in a human life, according to this Sanatan culture, was meant for your evolution. And it was all scientific, it was laid down with a particular purpose. So a human being, if that human being walked that path, would reach his or her highest potential. So to find our own highest potential, they have laid down this path for us, which I'm going to describe very soon. हमारे यहाँ समाज में विवाह, marriage was and is considered a union of 2 souls, and it's meant for 7 janmas. It was never meant for a janma. So just imagine, जिस husband के साथ अभी हमारी नहीं पट रही, अभी problems हो रही हैं, अभी we are like cats and dogs with each other, and we have to be with that same person probably for 7 janmas more, or maybe this is the 7th janma. I keep telling my husband, ये मेरा last janma है with you. I don't want any more. And that's what he tells me. That is his last janma with me. But jokes apart, जब हम समझ जाते हैं कि जो हम कुछ करते हैं, the karma का realm starts from this. What we do to the other is exactly what we get back. अगर मैं अच्छा नहीं बोलती, तो मुझे अच्छा नहीं सुनने को मिलता. If I do not do good to the other, good does not happen to me. So when the karma ka realm starts with the samskaras, we know कि जो विवाह है, विवाह was meant to be a union of 2 souls and 2 families. It was never meant for fun and games. It was there for a specific purpose, and the purpose was procreation. The purpose was कि lineage को अपनी आगे बढ़ाना है. The purpose was humanity किस तरीके से आगे बढ़ेगी. The only when a male and a female of any species come together do we have the offspring, be it animal, be it a mammal, be it anything. So vivaha was considered a very sacred union of two souls, two bodies for procreation. वो जानते थे हमारे ऋषि मुनि कि अगर ढंग का कपल होगा जिसमें टॉलरेंस होगी, पेशेंस होगा, forbearance होगी, if they understand each other, संस्कृति के हिसाब से चलेंगे. गोत्रों की कहानी थी, इतने गोत्र छोड़ के, like your mommies, your chachis, your daddies, your bua's daughters were your sisters. So they were meant to leave those, and the गोत्रों की lineage से अगर आगे चलते थे, तो it was meant for a proper offspring, संतति. तो सबसे पहला जो संस्कार है विवाह, we will come to it at a later stage. सबसे पहला संस्कार है गर्भाधान. गर्भ यानी a womb में conception, and a conception in the womb had a very scientifically laid out systematic steps. For that, vivaha was the first step. जब शादी हो जाती थी, on a particular auspicious, they would find out a muhurat, and they had laid down the system of doing it in the sense हवन होता था घर में, proper पूजा पद्धति करके. You would pray to the gods you venerate, and when you pray to them by doing that हवन, शुद्धि करके अपने घर में, अपने पूरे atmosphere में, जब आप प्रे करते थे कि हमें अग्नि जैसा या वायु जैसा या इंद्र जैसा या जो भी हमारे मन में धारणा है, हमें उस तरीके की संतति मिले, then those, if you follow those particular steps and you were meant to conceive, you could invite a divine soul into your womb. So say our shastras. Like for Dashratha, for example, Dashrath had prayed for centuries में जब उन्होंने तप करा था, तपस्या करी थी, और तब जाके उनको वो कर पाए थे कि श्री राम स्वयं भगवान कौशल्या की वुम्ब में आए थे. So that was के आवाहन of how you could invite those special souls into your womb. Those souls which not only do good for themselves, खुद के लिए भी जो अच्छे हो, परिवार के लिए अच्छे हो, समाज के लिए अच्छे हो, और देश के लिए अच्छे हो. In fact, the kind of an offspring that you want, जिसमें करुणा हो, दया हो, मैत्री हो, compassion for all human beings हो, virtuous beings, powerful beings. And our land has been a land in which such powerful beings have emerged time and again. Situations keep getting worse, but यहीं से विवेकानंद भी निकले हैं, यहीं से स्वामी दयानंद भी निकले हैं, यहीं से लोकमान्य तिलक और ये सारे फ्रीडम फाइटर्स, और यहीं से सारे ऋषि मुनि महात्मा, सारे भगवान. India has been called the cradle of civilization. It's been called the प्रथम संस्कृति, पहली संस्कृति पूरे विश्व में. तो ये जो पहली संस्कृति है, संस्कृति से ही संस्कार बनते हैं, और संस्कारों से ही ये पूरा कल्चर बनता है. अगर हम संस्कृत नहीं होते, अगर हमें कल्चर और वो रिफाइनमेंट की पराकाष्ठा नहीं आती, so we are as good as any other being. In the sense that people, religions, so many religions just want conversions, but Sanatan Dharma is the only one which does not advocate any conversion. There is no method to convert. So because this prakriti, this culture had reached the highest pinnacle of civilization, but unfortunately, because of this long and extreme brutal invasions, 800 years of Islamic invasion and this 200 years of this colonial rule has totally turned our society upside down. And especially this colonial rule, just the very fact that we think and talk in English, we feel more comfortable in English. हम अपनी सभ्यता से, अपनी संस्कृति से उतने ही दूर चले गए हैं. संस्कृत के माध्यम से ये सब हम तक पहुंचा था, और संस्कृत को they cut off those roots. If you happen to read a beautiful book, The Beautiful Tree it's called, by Dharampal, you would realize the systematic way in which they have cut our roots. The systematic cleansing. This is called genocide, cultural genocide. जो इन लोगों ने बहुत सारे देशों में करा है, कल्चरल जेनोसाइड। लाइक इजिप्ट है पर इजिप्शियन सिविलाइजेशन नहीं है, रोम है पर रोम सिविलाइजेशन नहीं है, मेसोपोटामिया, बेबीलोन सब खत्म हो गए। Ours is the only Sanskriti which is still alive. But unfortunately, people of our generation or our older people, we all thought this is very old-fashioned, very outdated, to completely unscientific, all mumbo jumbo, because that's what was fed to us. हमें समझाया गया, हमें सिखाया गया कॉन्स्टेंटली कि ये सारा मम्बो जम्बो है, ये तुम लोग पेड़ पूजने वाले और नदियों को पूजने वाले, पहाड़ों को पूजने वाले, हाथियों को पूजते हो, बंदरों को पूजते हो. This is what was systematically fed into us. Fortunately, I have been involved with the Vedas and Upanishads for more than 27, 28 years. So I realized the value of our Sanskriti. ये 16 संस्कार मैंने भी सारे नहीं जानती थी, मैंने भी सीखे हैं, समझे हैं. अब तो गूगल बाबा जिंदाबाद. We all can take pains, we all can learn, because अब तक क्या था, we would tell our parents, you never taught us, how were we to know? Little realizing we are the parents and grandparents now. अगर हम कोशिश नहीं करेंगे तो हमारे बच्चे भी कुछ नहीं सीखेंगे, एंड जैसे और सभ्यताएं खत्म हुई हमारी भी हो जाएगी. तो इसीलिए पेन्स लेना बहुत जरूरी है. तो सबसे पहला था गर्भ आधान. गर्भ में आप अपने वुम्ब में किस तरीके की आत्माओं का आवाहन करके आप इस तरीके की अपने बॉडी को प्रिपेयर करते हैं टू इनवाइट दोस पर्टिकुलर सोल्स इनटू योर वुम्ब. This is a proper methodology, like science. If you walk through the science equations, you will reach a particular result. Similarly, इसमें भी अगर प्रक्रिया दी हुई है, अगर आप उन पे चलेंगे, so this what I am sharing with you is from Swami Dayanand Saraswati's Sanskar Vidhi. About 150 years earlier, during the colonial rule, Swami Dayanand Saraswati revived the whole thing. He realized that संस्कार खत्म हो चुके हैं, colonial rule इतना जबरदस्त है, हमें divide करते चले जा रहे हैं, बहुत जरूरी है अपने ही संस्कारों से जुड़ना. तो उन्होंने ये लिखी थी, and it is available on Amazon. I'm going to be sharing a brief outline because 16 संस्कार, अगर मैं एक में deeply जाऊंगी, we will need 16 sessions. Yeah. So whoever wishes to go further, I'll be sharing a few more links throughout the talk. तो गर्भ आधान की बात है. इससे पहले मैं ले चलती हूँ आपको जो ट्रेजर ट्रोव की चेस्ट के बारे में ये बता रहे थे. तो हुआ एग्जैक्टली यही है कि वी ऑल आर सिटिंग ऑन अ ट्रेजर ट्रोव. हम नहीं जानते और हम दूसरों से मांगते जा रहे हैं. गिव मी समथिंग, गिव मी मनी, गिव मी सम अप्रिसिएशन, गिव मी सम लव, गिव मी सम, मेक मी फील हु आई एम. एंड कोई आके वहां पे कहता है कि सिर्फ पीछे मुड़ो और अपना वो चेस्ट खोलो और सब कुछ उसी के अंदर है. वही हमारे साथ हो रहा है, हमारी संस्कृति का, हमारे वजूद का, हमारे एग्जिस्टेंस का. हम कौन थे, हम कहाँ से आए हैं और हमें कहाँ जाना है, ये सारे आंसर्स धीरे धीरे क्लियर होते चले जाते हैं अगर हम इनके थ्रू गुजरते हैं. सेकंड संस्कार है पुंसवन. ये किस माध्यम से याद करते हैं, आई विल लेट यू नो द क्रोनोलॉजी ऑल्सो. देयर इज अ वेरी क्यूट निमोनिक हाउ टू मेमोराइज द पर्टिकुलर वे, और ये सारे 16 संस्कार आपको याद हो जाएंगे. आई विल गिव यू अ स्मॉल ट्रिक. द सेकेंड संस्कार है पुंसवन. अब गर्भ सेट हो गया वुम्ब में. इन द सेकेंड और द थर्ड मंथ, our rishis, without any ultrasound, without any scientific instrument of now, our rishis, in the deep meditations, they realized कि जो माँ होती है, माँ जो सोचती है, समझती है, खाती है, पहनती है, पढ़ती है, उठती है, लिखती है, बैठती है, has a direct connection on the baby, on the fetus. So they did things for the fetus, supposed to be, but for the mother, that mother fetus combination would benefit out of that. तो एक प्रॉपर यज्ञ करते थे घर में, दूसरे या तीसरे महीने में करते थे. उस पुंसवन संस्कार में पूरी फैमिली जुड़ती थी, and they would offer through the Vedic prayers to the divine. हमारे शास्त्र बताते हैं कि जो देवास है ना, जो हमारे संस्कृति में कहते हैं we have so many gods, those gods and we have a direct symbiotic connection. We offer to the gods what we have, and they in return bestow their blessings upon us, because a human being knows कि without blessings, ये सारे 5 तत्वों से जो बना है ये शरीर और ये पूरा atmosphere, he is nothing. In this corona period, we have realized it very clearly. We who thought we are invincible suddenly are all holed up in our own houses like rats. Exactly. तो कोरोना ने बिल्कुल समझा दिया कि हमारा अस्तित्व है क्या. हम लोग प्रकृति के अधीन हैं, और ये हमारी संस्कृति हमेशा कहती थी. तो ये जो यज्ञ हवन और ये पूजन होते थे, they were meant for cleansing. एंड जो घी डलता था, जो आहुतियां डालते थे, जो सामग्रियां करते थे, और वेदों की ऋचाओं के जो मंत्र उच्चारण करते थे, those mantras have a scientific and a systematic way of cleansing the environment. And science is proving exactly each and everything. You have institutes in Germany, you have institutes in USA doing research, massive research on Vedas and all our mantras and the deep cleansing benefits of the mantras. तो पुंसवन संस्कार में पूरा परिवार जुड़ता था मदर की वेलबीइंग के लिए. एल्डरली जो विमेन होती थी वो मदर को समझाती थी कि किस तरीके से खाना पीना चाहिए, what is good for you, what is good for the baby and what is not good for the baby, and how you should be thinking, how you should be behaving. So they prepared a ground in the house, in the environment where it would be very beneficial for the young mother and the baby in the womb. तो ये होता था 2nd या 3rd month में. Then we would have a सीमंतो नयन संस्कार, गर्भाधान, then पुंसवन, then सीमंतो नयन. सीमंतो नयन होता था 6th, 4th, 6th या 8th मंथ में और प्रेगनेंसी. हमारे ऋषियों को ये पता था कि 4th मंथ में उस फीटस का मन बनता है, 6th मंथ में बुद्धि बनती है, और 8th मंथ में उसका हार्ट एंड उसमें स्ट्रेंथ डेवलप होती है. तो 4थे महीने में मन बनता था, 6ठे महीने में बुद्धि बनती थी, और 8वें महीने में उसका हृदय, हार्ट डेवलप होता था, और ओज, स्ट्रेंथ उसके बॉडी में आती थी. एंड दे न्यू दैट द मदर्स बॉडी एंड द चाइल्ड्स बॉडी एंड द बुद्धि हैज अ डायरेक्ट कनेक्शन. तो उस समय समथिंग लाइक जो अब 8वां पूछता है, जो अनफॉर्चुनेटली हम सब लोगों ने सोचा अंधविश्वास है, और अब वो बेबी शावर में बदल गया है. अब वो बिल्कुल वेस्टर्न बेबी शावर हो गया है ना. अब जो वो है प्रोसेस, वो सीमंतो नयन में द हस्बैंड वुड पार्ट द वुमन्स हेयर, और उस पार्टिंग में सिंदूर लगाते थे, उसको सजाते थे, संवारते थे, पूरा परिवार जुड़ता था. they would give blessings to the new mother, to the baby. और वो लेडी जो यंग मदर है खुश होती थी. एवरीबडी वो लाड करते थे, चाव करते थे, और गिफ्ट्स देते थे, और सबके लिए फीस्ट होती थी. ये भी एक तरीका था सबों को जोड़ने के लिए. अब क्या हुआ है, हम सब सुख, वैभव, संपदा बढ़ गई. We all are surrounded with riches, material riches, but we lead such lonely lives. Where is that bonding? Where is the coexistence with each other? Where is the thing of getting together? वो जो समाज में था, मिल के बैठ के उठना बैठना. If you look back at your dadis and your nannies, they had a very vibrant circle. है ना, उठते थे, बैठते थे, मिलते थे. So there was no loneliness, there was no depression. तो ये तरीके थे संस्कारों के थ्रू, त्योहारों के थ्रू जोड़ने का काम. तो सीमंतो नयन ये 3rd संस्कार है जो होता था 4th, 6th और 8th मंथ में. उसके बाद बेबी, तो these 3 what I have described are in the womb. Now the 4th sanskar is when the baby has just emerged or has just born before the umbilical cord is cut. So in Ayurveda, the Charak Samhita and Shushruta Samhita, we've had fabulous rishis who've done massive work. I've given a talk on Ayurveda also. आप मैं लिंक रीटा जी को बोलूंगी, शेयर कर देंगी. अगर आप सुनना चाहें आयुर्वेदा और एलोपैथी के बारे में, तो you would realize कि Ayurveda is thousands of years. It's a Veda, thousands of years old. And here we have allopathy only of 250 years. Unfortunately, we've given up all this branch of knowledge because we did not know any better. तो आयुर्वेदिक जो हमारे थे चरक संहिता और सुश्रुत संहिता वो वर्णन करते हैं जात कर्म संस्कार का बिफोर द अम्बिलिकल कॉर्ड इज कट. सो वर्णन है कि जो बेबी का फादर होता है, he is there where the baby is being born. So it is not a very modern concept for men to be inside the operating theaters. Earlier babies were born at home, men used to be around. तो जब बच्चा हो जाता था तो एक चांदी की या सोने की सलाखा से, like a kind of a small rod, they would dip it into ghee and honey, into a mixture of like 6 drops of honey, 6 drops of ghee and a particular amount of honey, and swirl it, and on the jivha, on the tongue of the baby, they would write Om. And then the baby's father would whisper in the baby's ear, Om Vedosi, Tvam Vedosi. तुम वेद हो, तुम्हें जानना है, तुम्हें समझना है, तुम्हें अज्ञानियों की तरह illiterate बन के नहीं जीना. Knowledge was placed a very high emphasis in our culture always. We've been known to be the cradle of knowledge. Our universities like Nalanda and Takshila were renowned. People from all over the world, like how now they flock to Harvard and Cambridge and Oxford, they would come to India for all this knowledge. And they say when then Islamic Bakhtiyar, I'm forgetting his full name, when he burnt the Nalanda University, it kept burning for 6 months. That's the kind of literature we had. That's the kind of knowledge we had. तो उस बच्चे को उसके पिता कहते हैं त्वम वेदोसी, तुम्हें जानने वाला बनना है, तुम सबको जान के समझ के अपने आप को, अपने स्वयं को पहचानो, is what the father would say. So that was what the jat karma sanskar was. Shushruत कहते हैं by this very act they would check the reflex action of the baby, whether the baby was able to suckle, whether the baby could take proper oxygen, and they had certain parameters laid down what they could do with this incident of the baby suckling that honey and the ghee. After that, the baby was given to the mother for breastfeeding. And breastfeeding, there are immense benefits of breastfeeding. So this is the 4th sanskar, jat karma. अब मैं ले चलती हूँ आपको जो mnemonic trick बता रही थी, how to remember that. So there is a small GPS जा, नानी से अन्न चूड़ा लेके आ. Okay, I will keep repeating this. I'll tell you what it means. GPS जा, नानी से. So na, I have explained about G, गर्भाधान, P, पुंसवन, C, सीमंतो नयन, जा, जातकर्म, नानी, ना. Na is namakaran. So they say on the 11th day or the 111th day, that means on the 11th day of the baby or on the 3rd month of the baby should be named. Now giving a name has a very significant meaning in our culture. इस तरीके का नाम हो जो बेबी की ग्रोथ में सहायक हो, इस तरीके का नाम हो जो that fills the baby with pride, इस तरीके का नाम हो जो उसके the kind of thoughts that you want the baby to inculcate. Like suppose आप किसी का नाम शक्ति रखते हैं, that baby would inculcate that's the value of strength and of valor. अगर किसी का नाम कोई भगवानों के नाम पे रखता है, that means you want that baby to inculcate all the good qualities of Ram or say Krishna or Vishnu. So we have 1008 names of Vishnu, we have that many names of Shiva, we have that many names. तो उनमें से अगर नाम आप choose करके रखते हैं, तो that particular attribute you want your child to have. Or if it is a girl child, if you name the child on the nakshatras, like Rohini and Kritika and all those nakshatras, and they all, Sanskrit being a very rich language, every single word has a meaning. They bring it down to the root, to the very root of that word, and there unfolds a beautiful meaning of the name. तो नाम रखने की प्रक्रिया कुछ परिवारों में अब भी चलती है from the patri, और कुछ most में खत्म हो चुकी. People just name whatever they want to name. But again, it's coming back to keeping meaningful names. So if you keep a meaningful name, it is not only beneficial for the child, but for the family. तो नामकरण का पूरी प्रक्रिया होती थी, यज्ञ होता था, हवन होता था, पूजा होती थी, पूरी फैमिली जुड़ती थी, बेबी को गिफ्ट्स दिए जाते थे, मदर वुड फील स्पेशल एंड नामकरण की प्रक्रिया होती थी। उसके बाद आता है निष्क्रमण, GPS जानानी, ना इज नामकरण and ni is nishkraman. So once the baby has been named, a baby has been home for 3 months, the baby starts crawling. घर में बेबी को धूप से, हवा से और सारे ये एलिमेंट से बचा के रखा जाता था, परंतु a baby has to grow up, a baby has to come into the samaj, has to come into social environment. So निष्क्रमण की जब वो पहली बार घर से बाहर जाता था, तब उसको मंदिर लेके जाते थे, उसको सूर्य के दर्शन कराते थे, उसको चंद्रमा के दर्शन कराते थे, सूर्य के दर्शन करा के सूर्य से प्रार्थना की जाती थी कि जैसे आप तेजस्वी हैं, हमारे इस बच्चे में सारी तेज, सारी ऊर्जा, फुल ऑफ एनर्जी, विगर, वाइटैलिटी, वो उस हमारे बेबी में आ जाए। चंद्र की शाम को पूजा की जाती थी, मंदिर में जाके भगवानों की पूजा की जाती थी, और इस तरीके से जब पूजा करके जब वापस घर में बेबी को लाते थे, तो जो फैमिली फिजिशियन होता था या वैद्य होता था, तब वो बच्चे की सारी एक बार पूरी चेकिंग भी होती थी ऑफ ऑल इट्स पार्ट्स, ऑफ ऑल द एंटायर बॉडी। तो ये हुआ निष्क्रमण संस्कार। इसके बाद आता है GPS जानानी से अन्न चूड़ा लेके, अन्नप्राशन। Our ancestors had realized that till the age of 6 months, a baby was on milk, yeah, but had to be given solids. So they have identified a full methodology of अन्न पहला कब खिलाया जाए, कैसे खिलाया जाए, कहाँ खिलाया जाए और क्या होना चाहिए। तो उन्होंने पूरी मेथोडोलॉजी डिस्क्राइब करके कि किस तरीके का अन्न हो, दे न्यू वेरी वेल, जैसा खाए अन्न वैसा हो मन। एंड दे ऑल्सो न्यू कि जो बेबी के लिए अच्छा है चीजें, वो उसकी फैमिली को जोड़ के ही करा सकते हैं। अगर फैमिली का उसमें रोल नहीं होगा तो कोई भी बेबी के लिए काम करेगा नहीं। तो पूरी फैमिली फिर इकट्ठा होती थी, अन्न प्रॉपर बनता था उस बेबी के लिए, उसको क्या खिलाना है, मंदिर में बैठ के, घर के मंदिर में बैठ के उसको घर की बड़ी लेडी या बड़े जो दादा या बाबा उसको बैठ के वो अन्न खिलाते थे विथ प्रॉपर वैदिक मंत्रास एंड रिचुअल। और फिर उस फैमिली को भी बताया जाता था कि तुम्हारे बेबी के लिए क्या अच्छा है क्या नहीं। Any young parent goes through a lot of anxiety. They don't know what's happening with them. So the family elders would gather together and give them guidance. So ये हो गया अन्नप्राशन। GPS जा नानी से अन्न चूड़ा लेके आ। तो चूड़ा is चूड़ा कर्म. After we've given him anna, चूड़ा कर्म is his मुंडन, tonsure. जो पूरे मुंडन कराते थे वो 1 साल के अंदर से लेकर 3 साल तक होता था। मुंडन अब भी कुछ घरों में होता है, कई लोग अपने देवी देवता के पास जाके कराते हैं, कई यहीं पे करा देते हैं, कई नहीं भी कराते। But Shushruta and Charak both say that Mundan has a very scientific aspect to the whole thing. Why should you do it? जो जन्म के बाल होते हैं पुराने संस्कारों से आए हुए होते हैं, उसके अलावा जब मुंडन कर लेते हैं तो जो फिजिशियन होता है, जो घर में बड़े होते हैं, with the way how your scalp is, they can make out कि अगर कोई deformity है, कोई abnormality है, किसी चीज की जरूरत है, कोई medical intervention की जरूरत है, तब वो करते थे। So it was a very important aspect. घर में नाई आता था। A nai had a very important place. A barber had a very important place in our society. He would come home, he would tonsure the babies. Certain families would leave a bodi and certain would not. It all depended on what your culture was. So अपने culture को follow करते हुए, अपनी चीजों को करते हुए, they would train on how to bring up your baby. तो जब चूड़ा कर्म हो जाता था तो GPS जा नानी से अन्न चूड़ा लेके आ VU. So VU Vikesh. VU is Vidya Arambha. So what happens was once the Chudha Karma is done, A child has grown up till about 12 months, has become a year old, and formal schooling would only start when the child was 5 or 7 years old. तो ये 1 साल से लेके और ये 4-5 साल तक का जो पीरियड था घर में, they would teach the child orally. They would teach the child through the stories of the Puranas. They would narrate lots and lots of stories to the child. And the Vidya Arambh was done, this sanskar, they would take a parat or a plate full of rice, पूरी उसमें rice होती थी, and with their hand, they would hold the baby's hand and make the baby write So चावल में ही कोई स्लेट नहीं, कोई पेंसिल नहीं, कोई बुक नहीं, चावल में जैसे रेत में भी हम करा सकते हैं, तो उसमें फिर ऐसे कर करके चाइल्ड को they would teach the varnamala. They would teach all in a very fun way. There was no formal learning till the child was 6 or 7 years old. The child was taught in the house. The child was taught mantras. The child was taught Hanuman Chalisa, Ramayan बोल के पढ़ाई जाती थी, पुराणों की स्टोरी सुनाई जाती थी, हनुमान के वैलर की कहानियां सुनाई जाती थी. इस तरीके से अलग 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 चीजों के द्वारा दादी कुछ बताती थी, नानी कुछ बताती थी, माँ बाप कुछ बताते थे, दादा बाबा नाना मामा चाचा ताऊ. It was a joint family upbringing, and everybody would contribute a little to the child's upbringing. तो इस तरीके से विद्या आरंभ घर में हो जाती थी. सरस्वती की पूजा होती थी, हवन होता था उस दिन भी फिर पंडित जी आते थे, प्रीस्ट आते थे, परिवार जुड़ता था और विद्या आरंभ की प्रक्रिया होती थी. तो जीपीएस जा नानी से अन्न चूड़ा लेके आ, यू इज उपनयन. उपनयन इज यज्ञोपवीत. अब ये बच्चा 5 से 7 साल का हो गया, अभी तक ये अपने घर में है, परिवार में है, अपने माँ बाप के साथ है, अभी तक इसके कोई फॉर्मल एजुकेशन नहीं शुरू हुई. बट मीनवाइल दिस फैमिली हैज आइडेंटिफाइड कि किस गुरुकुल में इसको भेजना है, कहाँ भेजना चाहते हैं, कौन से गुरु के पास भेजना चाहते हैं. तो जिस गुरु के पास वो लोग भेजते हैं, वहां पे कई बार परिवार ही करके भेजता था, कई बार वो गुरुजी के वहां पे होता था गुरुकुल में. उपनयन, उपनयन इज यज्ञोपवीत. दैट इज द 3 जो थ्रेड हम धारण कराते थे, वो उपनयन लड़कों का भी होता था, लड़कियों का भी होता था. बाय द टाइम इट हैज कम डाउन टू अस, इट इज ऑल बट वैनिश्ड. लड़कों का ही होता है, लड़कियों का तो कभी हुआ नहीं, और लड़कों का भी अब नहीं होता. बट दैट वाज डन फॉर अ स्पेसिफिक पर्पस. उपनयन, द थ्रेड अराउंड योर बॉडी was for you to feel it and know कि हमने अब से लेके जब तक हमारा अध्ययन, जब तक हमारी पढ़ाई, जब तक हमारी एजुकेशन पूरी नहीं होती, हम ब्रह्मचर्य पे चलेंगे. We will be celibate. We will use these years, the formative years, for our knowledge. अपनी नॉलेज को बढ़ा के हम अपने लिए, अपने घर के लिए, अपने देश के लिए और विश्व के लिए कुछ ऐसा काम करेंगे, हम अपनी हाईएस्ट पॉसिबिलिटी पे पहुंचेंगे. ये था वो यज्ञोपवीत उपनयन सेरेमनी का. तो उपनयन जब होता था गुरु के यहाँ जाके, उस गुरुकुल में गुरु होते थे और गुरु पत्नी होती थी, उनका परिवार होता था. 15 से 20 बच्चे बस. They used to be like from 10 to 15 to maximum 20 children in one gurukul. और उस गुरुकुल में they would live with the family. They would do whatever the guru and the guru patni says, the guru ma would tell them. तो सुबह लकड़ी लाने से लेके, चूल्हा जलाने से लेके, खाना बनाने से लेके, भोजन पकाना, भोजन खिलाना, उस गुरु से पूरी शिक्षा. So the education of now, which has become only an education of words, it wasn't that. उस समय आचरण होता था. गुरु ना कि सिर्फ बोलते थे, पर जैसा जीवन वो जीते थे, the child would imbibe that acharan. So that's why the gurus of yore were called acharya. आचार्य जो होते थे, उनका आचरण होता था. तो जब 7 years की उम्र से लेके 16 या 17 साल तक, जब 9-10 साल तक बच्चा वहीं रहता था गुरुकुल में, गुरु के साथ, गुरु पत्नी के साथ, and the child would learn not only the Vedas or the Upanishad or the Bhagavad Gita, but would learn astronomy, would learn geography, would learn about the mathematics, because we were very advanced in astronomy in mathematics, the entire, just yesterday I gave a talk on calendars and how the calendar of the world has gone from India. We have adopted the Gregorian calendar, जो यहीं से गया हुआ है और जो totally unscientific है. And our Vedic calendar was there. Well, that's another talk. So गुरु और गुरु पत्नी के साथ बच्चा रहता था, 10-12 साल रहता था, और उस समय वो कपड़े भी उस तरीके के पहनता था, धोती और मेखला, दंड, एक स्टिक उसके हाथ में होती थी, बोधी होती थी उसकी, and he would live a life, a frugal life. He would live a life of brahmacharya. He would live a very simple life, a very high thinking life, and learn all the Vedas, the Vedangas, all about Shilpa Shastra and all about Agamas and the Puranas and all those, the knowledge, Ayurveda आ गया उसमें, and all the works. And जब वो 17-18 साल का हो जाता था, and then GPS जा नानी से, even I have to recall, so I have to bring back that mnemonic again and again. GPS जा नानी से अन्न चूड़ा लेके आ, दियु वेकेश का विवाह है. So now comes the, I'm forgetting that ceremony now. Let me take you through a slideshow. One second. Okay, you haven't given me screen sharing in any case. So then they had that sanskar called the Samavartan. Samavartan is something like the graduation ceremony that we have nowadays, where the children wear those black robes and they wear those black hats. They're given a degree and then they flung that cap in the air. ना ऐसा ही कुछ होता था उस जमाने में, होता था गुरुकुल में, होता था जब बच्चा पढ़ लेता था. 10 से 12 साल की पढ़ाई होती थी जिसमें ये सारे शास्त्र सिखाए जाते थे. जब वो पढ़ लेता था, then guru would identify and the guru would tell him, you have excelled in this field. Maybe you can become a Vaishya. You are very good in knowledge seeking. You should become a Brahmin. You are very good for serving. That is where your growth lies. Because not everybody, हम देखते हैं सब में leadership quality नहीं होती. हम देखते हैं कुछ लोग serve करने में अपने आप को excel करते हैं. तो ये जो ब्राह्मण, वैश्य, शूद्र और क्षत्रिय जो ये बनता चला गया बाद में, it wasn't like this. It was a very flexible system of varna ashram. A person, because of his very ability to learn, would become a Brahmin. It was never identified by janma, by caste system बना के इसे बहुत बुरी तरीके से बिगाड़ के अंग्रेजों ने हमें हाथ में दे दिया. It was never meant like this. It was a varna vyavastha, never a jati vyavastha. So caste, by the very word caste, does not exist in India in our Sanskrit और हिंदी में कोई caste नहीं है. जाति है और वर्ण है. तो गुरुजी समावर्तन के समय, ग्रेजुएशन के समय बताते थे बच्चे को कि तुम्हारा inclination, your natural aptitude is towards business. You should become a Vaishya. You should go in for business. By the very inclination and your attitude and aptitude, you have valor and strength in you. You need to fight for your nation. You become a Kshatriya. इस तरीके से 4 वर्णों की व्यवस्था थी. गुरुजी और गुरु पत्नी उस बच्चे को, 17-18 साल के लड़के को, और लड़कियों के भी गुरुकुल थे. लड़कियों के अलग गुरुकुल थे, लड़कों के अलग गुरुकुल थे. Ours was a nation, a culture, a Sanskriti which always valued women just like men. कभी भी यहाँ पे लड़कियों को कम नहीं समझा गया किसी भी तरीके से. We have enough examples in our Vedas and our Upanishads to tell us that. They were on the same platform. कभी भी नीचे नहीं आके गए थे. तो फिर जब वहां से गुरुजी को ये लोग दक्षिणा देते थे बच्चे, गुरु इनको स्नान करा के, इनको कपड़े बदल के, पूरे, then they would come back into a life of their own families. तो गुरुजी कहते थे समावर्तन पे, ग्रेजुएशन सेरेमनी पे, अब तक मैंने तुझे जितना सिखाना था सिखा दिया. अब तुम अपने जीवन में जाओ, अपने माँ बाप के पास जाओ. सबसे पहला गुरु तुम्हारी माँ, उसके बाद गुरु तुम्हारे पिता, उसके बाद गुरु मैं, और उसके बाद गुरु तुम्हारे जो आते हैं घर में मेहमान और अतिथि. इस तरीके की शिक्षा देके गुरु अपने सब बच्चों को अपने अपने घरों में भेज देते थे। तो ये 17-18 साल के बच्चे पढ़ पढ़ा के gain the knowledge of life and living in its fullest sense. They would come back home and they would follow the business of either their fathers or what they wanted to do with themselves. इसके बाद जो संस्कार आता है वो होता है विवाह संस्कार, गृहस्थ आश्रम। तो विवाह संस्कार में और समावर्तन में 7-8 साल का गैप होता था। 17-18 साल हमारे वेद बताते हैं till 25 a boy was not supposed to marry. तो ये 7-8 साल में he would live a life of a householder. He would live and he would learn, and till now he's a celibate. Till now he's a brahmachari. और जब विवाह होता था तब विवाह की पद्धति में जो अरेंज्ड मैरिजेस जिस तरह से दो परिवारों को जोड़ती थी, यूनियन ऑफ टू सोल्स करते थे, एंड देन दैट होल प्रोक्रिएशन जर्नी स्टार्ट्स लीडिंग अस अगेन टू गर्भ आधान. सो आई हैव टेकन यू थ्रू अ जर्नी ऑफ द 16 संस्कार, पर दो चीजें रह गई हैं. जब विवाह हो जाता था उसके बाद दो बहुत बड़े रोल्स आते थे, जैसे विवाह इस गृहस्थ आश्रम, उसके बाद हमारे संस्कृति में है वानप्रस्थ और संन्यास्त. वानप्रस्थ meant like we were always taught that we have 4 ashramas. What do they mean? They mean stages of life. Like we have seen in our life, we were first a young child, and then we grew up into we became young, and then we got married, and then we had children, and there comes a stage that now their children are married and now we are the grandparents, है ना. तो हमारे roles हर stage पे different होते चले जाते हैं. When we are the parents, when we are in that leading role, we have to take all sorts of decisions. But once our children become parents themselves, then we are supposed to take a back seat. हमें एक back seat लेनी होती है, वानप्रस्थ में आना होता है. We should let the next generation take all the decisions. We should come in a role of consultation. We should mold our lives to giving back to society. जो जितना कुछ हमें मिला है अब हमारा देने का टर्न है. तो पहले कहते थे कि वन में चले जाते थे, अब हमें क्या करना है? इंटरनल रिनंसिएशन. अपने आप को यहाँ से रिनंसिएशन में लाके एंड इन द डेली निटिग्रिटी ऑफ लाइफ एंड लिविंग, we just need to let them be, and we need to focus ourselves on our own spiritual pursuits, on our own pursuit with the higher, because eventually this is where we have to go. एक काल चक्र है, हम कुछ लेके नहीं आए थे और कुछ लेके नहीं जाएंगे. तो उस काल चक्र में आप अपने आप को कहाँ पाते हैं? And we are fortunate that we've been seeing so many days and nights. Not many people sleep in the same night and get up in their same bed. People don't. So we need to value each and every moment, and we need to bring ourselves into the Vanaprastha mode. तो वानप्रस्थ मोड में जब हम अपने आप को ले आते हैं, इंटरनल रिनंसिएशन, पहले एडवाइस करते थे कि आप वन में चले जाओ, सब कुछ छोड़ दो, अपने आप को साधना में, तपस्या में, अपने आध्यात्मिक, अपने स्पिरिचुअल परस्यूट्स में लगा लो. उसके बाद का फेज आता है संन्यास्त, on how to have internal complete renunciation, on how to get into a monkhood, on how, and now what are we taught? Living in the same life of a householder, internal renunciation, internal clipping off of all pursuits, internal to know that this is going to be all here. It didn't come with me, it won't go with me. I need to work on myself. I need to work on what will go with me. तो जब आप संन्यास्त मोड में अपने आप को ले आते हैं, उसके बाद then comes the last bit, the 16th संस्कार is अंत्येष्टि. ये 15 संस्कार पे ह्यूमन बीइंग का बस है, इस 16th संस्कार अंत्येष्टि पे किसी का बस नहीं है. जो करेगा वो और लोग करेंगे, हमें कुछ नहीं पता. अंत्येष्टि एक पूरी प्रक्रिया थी जब बताया जाता था किस तरीके से जो 5 तत्वों से मिला ये शरीर है, इसे 5 तत्वों को वापस लौटा देना है. This human body is a combination of 5 elements and it has to be returned back to 5 elements. So they had devised a particular method, किस तरीके से वैदिक मंत्रों के द्वारा, किस तरीके से अग्नि को सुपुर्द करके, because अग्नि is from where you've got all the heat, from where you've got the digestion fire in your body, from where you've got that tej, that energy. अग्नि gets it from सूर्य, तो सूर्य से अग्नि में हमारे अंदर आई है, तो ये तत्व हम अग्नि को लौटाते हैं। और इसी तरीके से हम अलग अलग तत्व, हम अलग अलग लोगों, अलग अलग एलिमेंट्स को लौटा के और अपना ये शरीर को अंत्येष्टि की प्रक्रिया के द्वारा, क्रिमेशन के द्वारा, we return it back to the elements. तो ये जो जर्नी है 16 संस्कारों की, which most of us have forgotten completely, we're oblivious of the whole thing and we haven't taken pains to learn. That is the thing, the onus is on us. हम लोगों ने, ऐसा बहुत कुछ है जो हमें स्कूलों में नहीं सिखाया गया था, but we learned, है ना? तो ये भी is one of those things. And why have we forgotten? Because we are not connected with our scriptures. We do not take pains to read the Ramayana, or we do not take pains to read the Mahabharata. We do not take pains to read the Vedas, the Upanishads and the Bhagavad Gita. इसीलिए हम अपनी संस्कृति से दूर होते चले जा रहे हैं. Give me an idea about the time.
Almost 12:30. Sapna, it's almost 12:30.
All right, so I'm done with the major presentation. If anyone else wishes to ask, I'm open the floor for questions and all.
Yeah. Sapna, I also wanted to refer to a little myth I had read about, where there was the sage Vyas and his wife Arundhati. Can you hear me? There was Arundhati and there was Vyas, who were supposed to be the ideal married couple. And they said that there are now stars with those names. You know, there are stars. And the beauty is that they go around each other.
Absolutely.
They rotate around each other, not one going forward and one going back. So that was the ideal marriage. And even today, I believe in the South, when a marriage takes place at night, the priest points out those two stars and says, ki aise hi ban ke rahe. So there was a lot of knowledge our scriptures had, which, as you have enlightened us, we have lost, and it's always time to get back to it again. So that was the importance of marriage in a person's life, where it was not just meeting of two people, it was two families and values which imbibed and led you through.
Absolutely. तो ये अरुंधति के बारे में जो आपने बताया, so they have Arundhati, like once a couple gets married, the priest takes them outside, and in the horizon there he shows them the Arundhati star, telling them this only, telling them this कि जैसे ये एक दोनों के इर्द गिर्द घूमते हैं, उसी तरीके से not one of you is superior or not one of you is inferior. You are two conjoined together on a similar platform to perform duties of a householder. Now, on a householder depended very many families. अगर आप देखेंगे अभी भी एक गृहस्थ के ऊपर कितने सारे परिवार चल रहे होते हैं, है ना? हमारे स्टाफ के अलग अलग चल रहे होते हैं, the maids and the cook and the drivers and all our staff, household staff, ये सारे परिवार हमारे घर पे चल रहे होते हैं. उसके अलावा we were supposed to in the गृहस्थ आश्रम दान देने की प्रक्रिया थी हमेशा हर समय. So this our scriptures built it up beautifully. Unfortunately, we've lost it, and we do not take the pains. We cannot blame anybody. We cannot constantly go on blaming the colonials, rulers, or the invasions, because अब हमें पता है, अब कर लीजिए, किसने रोका है? It is only lethargy which has brought us to this state, you know.
Yes. Any questions? Well, till then, Sapna, I'm sorry, can we go back to a thing not connected, but what was this episode in your life where you had to fight off 15 people and which got you into this mode of learning the scriptures? What happened?
Okay, so I was a young girl of 30 then, and my son was 7. And we had gone to my parents' house in Bombay, and at 8 o'clock in the morning a doorbell rang, and I just come back from my walk. I was wearing my sports shoes, and 7 men walked in, and the 7 men walked in asking for my father. As luck would have had it, my father was in one bathroom taking a bath, and my mother was in the other. And I've been married about 10 years, so मुझे भी नहीं पता था. मैंने कहा आप लोग बैठिए. So they asked me for a glass of water. So I went to the kitchen. Bombay apartments, you know how they are. And वहाँ पे अगर 7 आदमी सुबह आ जाए, you just wonder at 8 o'clock in the morning. And they all sat themselves, and asked me for water. I went to the kitchen and I told my dad's cook, "Hey, jaldi pani do, itne sare log aa gaye." He gave me that, since he was making lunch, he gave me the tray. I took the tray and brought it back, and the tray fell from my hands. I saw my son at gunpoint on one of the men's lap like this, and with a gun on him. And it was like, within 2 or 3 minutes, and you don't know where life is, what is life about, and what will happen. You know, in an instance, you know that your son is gone. And I used to always read a lot. I've been a voracious reader right from bachpan. I grew up in Nairobi, in Kenya, and my schooling was in Nairobi, and my college in Bombay, St. Xavier's. तो I used to read a lot, and I knew कि अगर हम लोग सब एक ही जगह होंगे तो their job is done. So I went towards the balcony screaming, खंडेलवाल जी के यहाँ 5th floor पे they are robbers, बचाओ बचाओ. And then 2 men brought me in again, and I saw my dad coming from the bathroom, 2 men at him and on my son, and suddenly I don't know what overtook me, and I clawed them with my nails, and I kicked and I bumped. When you see your own child at gunpoint, that tigress in you, which I never knew, it was unconsciously. If I given a choice, I would never do it, because I would tell them, "Sab kuch le jao, mere bete ko chhod do," but it was all destiny. It just happened. That reaction of mine, that I clawed them and I beat them and I kicked them, and suddenly, and they must not have been professional robbers. They were novices, and my dad also got strength, and then my dad just did, and the gun fell down, and then I was clawing, and और फिर जो मेरे घर में 2 cousins आए हुए थे, वो जो उनमें से भी 2-3 लोग उठ गए, and they weren't prepared for this reaction. And suddenly, the 4th or the 5th minute, they just pushed my son, and they said, "भागो," और वो लोग एक एक करके सीढ़ी लिफ्ट में ली, सीढ़ियों से उतरते चले गए. And here they're screaming, "पकड़ो पकड़ो," वो लोग जा रहे हैं, but nobody takes that ownership. And within 15 minutes, the police was all there, because they were building में तो इतनी आवाज हो रही थी. जो पिक्चरों में होता है, that happened to me. The police came, the media came, I was all over the national newspapers, but I was in agony. My husband came from Delhi. Mere bachche. You know how these men are. Nanny house, the bachchas have gone, and suddenly something has happened. So he got me home here in Delhi. But here in Delhi, I was in bed for a month. High fever, extreme depression. The very thought कि मेरे बच्चों को कुछ हो जाता, मुझे कुछ हो जाता, parents को कुछ हो जाता. So it wasn't strength or valor what I did. It just happened. You made it happen. And then that after a month, I met a friend and I asked her, "What do? You have so much peace within you." So she told me about this Vedas and Upanishad. So it's that din aur aaj ka din hai. That's how Vedas happened to me.
What a gripping story.
Very gripping story.
It's credit to you to have had that presence of mind at that time, because
it's all divine grace. No, it's not with me. It's only divine grace.
Any other questions do we have?
No, we've learned a lot, I think, today. Really
Too much to absorb in one talk.
Yeah.
Courageous lady. Courageous lady.
Yeah.
Hats off to her.
No, nothing like that. It was just meant to be. It just happened that way it did. I didn't plan anything, and were it to happen, God forbid, ever again, I don't know what would happen. It was just meant to be, that's all. But I do believe in the sanctity of our great culture. I do believe in what we have unfortunately lost or are losing. And because of we not being able to connect, we do not give it to our children, which is very unfair. It is very unfair of us not taking the pains and not being able to connect them to their own roots. So whatever little time all of us have left in our own ways, because productive time हम सबके पास बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं होता. Whatever years we may have, but productive time of gaining knowledge and disseminating it properly, for it to go across, that only happens when you live a life like that. Because children are very smart. They do not listen to your words. They listen, they see your behavior, of the kind of life
They watch you.
Yes. So we have very productive little time left. If all of us understand that, realize that, and get on, like we say, get up, uttishth, utho. Vivekananda kept saying again and again, utho, jago. And now what happens?
Thank you.
Sapna, I'm a good friend with Nika Rogi. I'll come and meet you. I'm in new friends only. I'll come and meet you one day.
Who's this?
This is Renu Khanna. I'm a good friend with Neeta Rodgi. She tells me all about you, but I'm a new friend. I'll come and meet you one day. I'm in D block.
All right. Okay. Okay.
Well, Sapna,
Yes.
thank you so much for such a wonderful talk. It was great to hear a lot of things I'm not aware of now. So thank you ever so much on behalf of Disha.
Thank you.
So we close the meeting now.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
You're very enlightening and you're so knowledgeable and learned. Thank you for sharing.
That was very, very nice.
So folks, the end of a Disha meeting. Now we meet on the 2nd